Tonight's true story comes from CH, and it's kind of a lengthy one, so I'm going to dive straight into it. I'm a 23-year-old female, and this happened when I was about 16 years old. My mom and my stepmom had bought a multi-family home together. My bedroom was in the attic on the third floor. This took place on a Saturday morning. I was laying in bed, scrolling on my iPod Touch, when all of a sudden I heard a loud footsteps sprinting up the stairs. I dropped my iPod and I stared at my bedroom door, waiting to see if those footsteps were coming up for me or my sister's room across the hall. My bedroom door slammed open and my mom stepped into my doorway. She was wearing her all-time favorite vintage red nightgown she always wears to bed and her fluffy slippers. Her hair was a crazy mess, and her face was contorted into a sort of anger I've never seen on her face before. She started yelling at me in words that definitely sounded like English, but for some reason, no matter how hard I tried to concentrate on what she was saying, I couldn't understand her. So after she finished yelling, I apologized and I asked her to repeat herself. She got even more angry and yelled at me again, but still, no matter how hard I tried to focus on what she was saying, it still came through as gibberish, even though it sounded like English. I felt really bad because I could tell my mom was really angry and I wanted to help her, but I couldn't understand a word she was saying. So I asked her yet again to repeat herself because I seriously couldn't understand what she was saying. She growled and sighed at me and threw her arms down, and then she spun around and sprinted out of my bedroom and down the stairs. I immediately pulled the blanket off of myself, got up, and went downstairs and followed my mom's footsteps to go and see what was wrong so I could help her. I ended up all the way in the living room, and once I got in there, I saw my mom again. She was sitting on the couch wearing blue sweatshorts and a gray tank top, halfway through smoking a cigarette and sipping on her coffee. Confused, I walked up to the couch and sat down while she looked up at me with a smile, asking me how my night was. I asked her what was wrong and what she needed. She looked just as confused as I was and told me she didn't need anything. Then I asked my mom why she changed her outfit. At this point, she looked worried and told me she didn't change her outfit at all and asked me what was going on. I ended up telling her what happened, and at the time, she tried to convince me it was a dream and I was still sleeping or I had hallucinated it, and told me to stop talking about it. About a year ago, when I brought it up to her again, and she admitted to me that she believed me, especially since I said my bedroom door was slammed open, but that it had scared her so badly, she had to convince herself it wasn't real. She couldn't wrap her brain around the idea that an entity could copy her and the way she looks. This is a true story. I have multiple other stories similar to this from my life, some even with witnesses with me, and some I've even managed to catch on camera. When I was a kid, my stepsister and I saw an extraterrestrial while camping in Rumney Pines, New Hampshire. A few years ago, I was walking into work at midnight to cover a shift and had a vision that popped into my head that scared me so badly, I stopped walking. And when I went to start walking again, a truck came towards me from around the corner and the headlights shined on a mountain lion not even 10 feet in front of me, crouched down ready to pounce, next to the sidewalk facing me. The light scared it so bad it jumped 6 feet up and spun around and bolted behind the house. I've had several insane experiences. If you're interested in hearing more, I'll definitely share them. For those of you who will hear this and be convinced I'm either crazy or lying, I promise you I've heard it all and I do not care because I know the truth and I know what I've seen, so do my siblings. There's no reason to lie about these things either because most people will go out of their way to try to discredit you and make you look crazy to others. Now, I don't know about y'all, but as soon as I heard that she had more stories like this, I was like, I've got to hear those too. So thank you, CH. Great story. I fully believe it. Thank you again. Keep sending me your stories and suggestions, guys. Has been Jay's Haunted Appalachia for tonight. Keep Appalachia haunted, y'all.